Hello everybody, hello everybody. It's been something like a year since the last time I posted on this channel, but I realized it's a virus. I want to give you guys a little bit of a present and share a short Dvar Torah, which I heard. So this week's Parshat is Parshat Miketz, and in this week's Parsha, we see that there's a famine in Israel, and Yaakov sends his sons over to Egypt to go get food, and he keeps his son Binyamin behind. And Yosef, who is the second in command at the time in Egypt, he asks the brothers to go get Binyamin from Israel and bring him over to Egypt. And the brothers realize it's going to be a very, very hard task to get Binyamin over to Egypt. Why? Is that because Yaakov has a personal connection to Binyamin. He doesn't want Binyamin to have the risk of getting, God forbid, killed. So the sons realize it's going to be very, very hard to convince Yaakov to bring Binyamin to Egypt. So if you notice, the Torah brings down two stories, two different people who try and convince Yaakov to bring Binyamin down to Egypt. So the two people who try and convince Yaakov are Reuven and Yehuda. And Reuven asks his father, he says, "I'm going to protect Binyamin. I'm going to protect him. I'm going to make sure nothing bad happens to him. I'll bring him back to you safely." And when Reuven says his plea, Yaakov does not agree with him. He says, "I'm not going to send Binyamin." He does not agree to his plea. Whereas, literally a couple psukim later, when Yehuda says his plea, Yaakov says, "Okay, I understand. I'm going to send Binyamin." So there's a question on this: is why exactly does Yaakov listen to Yehuda, but he doesn't listen to Reuven? Right? I mean, they're both playing the same exact thing. Seemingly, they're both saying the same thing. We're going to protect Binyamin. So why does he listen to Yehuda and he doesn't listen to Reuven? So I thought of an answer on this based on the actual psukim themselves. That when you actually look at it, Reuven and Yehuda say different, in a way, promises as to why they're going to protect Binyamin. Right? They make different shvuos, different vows as to, if I don't protect Binyamin, then this and this will happen. And here are the two different scenarios, the two different promises that each of them make. So Reuven tells his father, he says, "Eshtei banai tamit im lo avienu elecha," right? That you can kill my two children if I don't bring to you Binyamin. It's very, very weird promise he's making here. He's saying, you're able to kill my two children if I don't protect Binyamin. And Rashi jumps on this and he says, you want to know something? The reason why Yaakov doesn't listen to Reuven is for this exact response, this exact plea that Reuven makes, which is, Reuven is saying, you can kill my children if I don't protect Binyamin. So Rashi says, you want to know what Yaakov said back to him? These are my offspring too, Reuven. Reuven is shifting the blame. He's saying, if I do anything bad with Reuven, I want you to go ahead and kill my children. Right? But he doesn't say to himself, I want my own consequences, to take the consequences and portray them on my children, not on me. When you look at it, and you look in the psukim, Yehuda, when he makes his promise, he says a different thing. He says, you want to know what he says? He says, Anochi e'arvenu miyadi tivakshenu. That you want to know something? If I don't protect him, I'm going to be his guarantor, father. That Yehuda's telling Yaakov, I'm going to be the protector. I'm going to be the guarantor. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to protect Binyamin on my watch. He says, Im lo yatanu elecha v'yistaknanu lefanecha, if I don't bring him before you and stand him before you alive, v'chatati lecha kol hayamim, I will sin to you all of my days. I will have sinned to you, father. Whereas while Binyamin is taking the blame and he's saying, the consequences shift them on my son. I don't want to take personal responsibility. I want you to take it out on my son. Yehuda is saying, this is my responsibility, father. That if anything bad happens to Binyamin, it's going to be my fault. The consequences are going to be on me and not on my sons. What's the lesson we could take for this, for the coronavirus? The lesson we could take is that we live in crazy times right now. We live in times where we don't have shuls open. We live in times where we're having avoda towards Hashem is very, very hard. And we say to ourselves, other people can do their avoda. Other people can maintain the Jewish foundation. I don't have to do anything myself. Right? That's the avoda of Reuven. That's what Reuven did. Reuven said to himself, I'm going to shift the blame over to my children. My children can suffer the consequences. My children can maintain the Jewish foundation. Right? We're saying to ourselves, that other people can maintain the Jewish foundation. I don't have to do anything myself. Whereas, what is Yehuda's avoda? What does Yehuda do? The type of Yehuda that's in every Jew is saying, I'm going to take personal responsibility to maintain the Jewish foundation. It's on me during this time to stay strong. Every single person should take upon themselves to do something extra. Because it's every single person's own personal responsibility to serve Hashem and to maintain the Jewish foundation. So that's a lesson we could take with us, even beyond coronavirus, that everybody needs to take their own personal responsibility. Be a Yehuda and don't be a Reuven. And if Reuven cared for other people, Reuven cared about Binyamin so very dearly. Reuven cared about him. But what Reuven didn't realize is that Reuven didn't realize that it's his own personal responsibility to care for Reuven. We don't realize that it's our own personal responsibility to care for the Jewish foundation. That's what every single Jew has to do. So let's take us with us. I wish everybody a very, very good Shabbos and only a year of brachot, and we'll bring Mashiach to Kena B'Her B'Ameinu.